seat.
Sit right here. There's no obvious. That's why you're here. You ready?
Yep.
We are live at the Lenovo Center. I am Joe Giglio. That is not Joe Ovis. That's Hayes Permar, Rialto Empresario. How are you, sir?
Good. We had a fun time at the Rialto this weekend playing Grateful Dead shows.
That's awesome. That was a really good idea.
It was super cool. And yeah, Grateful Dead people are usually pretty happy people.
Guess what?
What's that?
We have a lot.
There were some other things going on this weekend.
A lot to get into.
This will be a test of, I think, obviously you guys have been in the game a long time. You're great at what you do. But I think the bread and butter of this podcast is the fact that it is so local, right? And I mean that in a good way. You can talk everything, but you can reference something that happened today and compare it to something that happened 25 years ago in Triangle Sports. Today is going to be a test because, we're sitting in front of a Hurricanes game. We have a huge NFL weekend, 2 overtime games, crazy games. We've got a national championship game tonight. But if you are truly the Elvis and Giglio that I believe you are, there's only one thing to start the show with, even on a major sports weekend. So I'm gonna see where we go to start this thing off.
We have a lot to get into
on a Monday
because there was the NFL playoffs yesterday. A lot to talk about. A lot of conspiracy theories. A lot of drama. My gosh, a couple of those games were really fucking good. And then one of them at least was a dud, or 2 of them were a dud. The Texans, Patriots, but the Patriots got me fired up. So we'll get into that. We're here for the Hurricanes today. It's Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. The Canes are playing Buffalo at 1:30. We'll get to Buffalo and their woes and now their search for a new football coach. And we will get into that, of course. Darian Mensah kind of breaking the brains of some ACC football types. Yeah. Oh, shit. There's a national championship to be played tonight. Well.
Still, there were I saw a lot of sentiment of why wasn't this game played Friday night?
Right.
That seemed to make a lot of sense as the table setter to a big football weekend as opposed to coming on the tail end. But
sure,
who knows?
We have all of those things as well. But we are here in the Triangle, and sir, we are at our heart a basketball podcast.
That's right.
And there's a lot to get into. NC State loses at home to Georgia Tech in a game where Will Wade continues to say things after games that I'm like, hey, man, I'm really not so sure you wanted to say that in public out loud. We'll get to that because back burner, sir. UNC goes to California, and I'm looking across the way at the Lenovo Center. You see the entrance to you can't. I'm sorry, my bad. Hayes can see it.
You're talking to me.
The entrance to the Hurricanes locker room, right above that is where Randy Woodson's seats used to be for NC State basketball. Gotcha. And I have no other choice but to believe at this point that the addition of Cal and Stanford was the long game by Randy Woodson to get Hubert Davis fired and to save Carolina basketball, according to some fans, because clearly all Carolina needs is to replace their coach. And voila, all of their problems will be fixed because Carolina fans are not happy after not only did they lose to Stanford on Wednesday, 95-90 in a game where they played no defense, but now a second loss. They lose to Cal on Saturday, 84-78, in a game in the first half where it looked like they had never played organized basketball before. It was 54-37 at the half.
It was gross
against the Cal team. Again,
4 points.
If we want to talk about karmic and cosmic forces at work, Scottie Pippen's kid putting it on Michael Jordan's alma mater,
love it. I may need a Giglio deep dive on UNC. Obviously I listen to the show. Shire's record versus the red teams, green teams.
It's getting better.
UNC in California, lifetime. I'd like to know that because, I remember they famously lost the first game of the year one time and at Santa Clara or one of those. And you got to think they don't play out there too much. Right. And didn't they lose a game or two last year out there, or did they lose home against California? I feel like they lost to one of these teams. Anyway,
they lost to Stanford with their Duke transfer last year at home.
Yes. It was at home. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
and while the last time we were on, I said, Kyle Smith's a really good coach. Stanford's got some sneaky good players. I can't make any of those excuses for Cal. I'm sorry.
Mad Dog?
I can't. The Mad Dog. No,
just
sorry.
His way to the
I can't do it. But first of all, thank you to Copiers Plus, of course. We can't do what we do without Drew and his crew at Copiers Plus. For all of your print and data management needs, please go to copiers-plus.com. And while we're not at the comfort of the Eford Studios, we always thank Empire Properties, Empire Eats, the Morning Times, great coffee, great breakfast, all those good things.
Hey, not Empire, just shout out, got some more properties.
They did. They did. Downtown, I believe it was Wilmington Street, the entire block there that Greg Hayden acquired. So big thanks to them. We can't do what we do without them. And then Bloomin Blinds. It's not an after dark, but here we are at the arena. We'll be talking about the Canes, of course.
More of a before light.
Yeah, it's like a weird matinee kind of deal. I feel like we should be at the Rialto today for a matinee, but big thanks to Bloomin Blinds because I don't know if you're familiar with this. And the place next to you, I'm not trying to shit where you eat, but the restaurant next to you went out of business or they closed down.
Yeah.
The one time I went there, they needed Bloomin Blinds something fierce because you couldn't even see the menu.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, gosh, guys, I can hook you up with Chris over at Bloomin Blinds. You could do it as well. Give him a call, 919-980-9815. So yeah, let's just get to the heart of the sentiment here from Carolina fans. And you identify as a Carolina fan, but let's just get to the heart of where Carolina fans are after being swept out in California.
Saturday, January 17th, 2026. The day Hubert Davis lost the Carolina job. Saturday, January 17th, 2026. The day Hubert Davis lost the Carolina job.
All right, that was fairly succinct.
The drama. I love the drama.
Let's go to our longtime Carolina correspondent, Paul.
Hey, guys, it's Paul. I'm calling at halftime of this Cal game. Fire him. Leave him on the tarmac. I'm sorry, Hubert. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Cal is 1-4 in the ACC. 1-4. And you are out here looking like the worst team in the ACC defensively. It is horrendous. They have like 23s, it feels like, in the first half. You let them score 50-plus points in the first half. No, this is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable. How have you not motivated your players? All right? At SMU, they look terrible. They look great against Wake Forest for like 35 minutes, and then they look terrible. They look terrible against Stanford defensively. Fucking awful. And here against Cal, this is their worst performance by far. Worst performance by far. I don't even care what happened in the second half. Carolina could come out and have a 50-0 run. I don't care. The fact that Hubert Davis cannot motivate these players to play. They don't want to play these games. It doesn't look like it. They don't want to defend for sure. This is ridiculous. This team should not be this bad defensively. They have so much length, so much size at every position. This is unacceptable. They're out here getting cooked by some guy named John Cameron or whatever the fuck his name is. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. They should leave him on the tarmac. They should leave him in the state of California. Sorry, Hubert. Love you. Mean it.
So close to my favorite words there. Forever grateful. So close.
Yeah.
We'll get to forever grateful.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
All right. So what do you see that's other than obviously their defense is the primary issue? What do you see that's wrong with the Tar Heels?
Let me address one thing on that call. UNC isn't going to fire Hubert in the middle of the season, nor should they. Right.
Correct.
As much as people want to get worked up, you let a season play out because you don't know if you get in the tournament and you win 3 games, all of a sudden you feel different, even if you had a 3 or 4 or lost 4 out of 6 in the middle of the ACC season. So that's one. It's a great question on how to motivate to play defense. I don't have a specific answer to that. To me, I think the biggest problem, and you and listeners who are going to roll your eyes could be like, this is what happens when we get Hayes in here. I don't follow sports like I did when I worked for the David Glenn Show on Sports Channel 8. So sometimes I may have to reference people by the Euro guard and not actually say his name and things like that.
That's fine.
But, and you're going to think I'm being cheeky or silly here, but I do think a lot of it is just not roster construction, but who's on the court. I think you nailed it. It would have been awesome if when Seth Trimble were down, some other dudes established things that worked out. I think it almost went the opposite way. You needed Seth Trimble there the whole time to really establish what the rotation was going to be, and now it's just all over the place. And I know you're going to laugh, and I know this won't happen, and you'll say, hey, you're just being silly. But I think there is a solution there that can be sold as a forward-thinking, we're like an NBA team, but also can apply to the nostalgia of UNC. And that is, you ready for this?
Yes.
The blue team.
Blue Steel.
Euro guy. What's his name? Sorry. Bogovac needs to be on the bench to start the game. And when he comes out, he's told, you fill it up, my dude. You can shoot 20 times in the 18 minutes you play. And tall, long guy that shoots threes.
Jaron Stevenson.
Yes. Like
the Alabama transfer.
Put a couple of those guys with him and just have them go in and tell them, hey, you can throw up a bunch of shots. But if I see you stop running at all on defense, you're back out and the starters are back on. Again, I know that sounds so cheeky or whatever, and you don't have to do it.
I don't hate it. You can put Kyan Evans on there too.
Exactly. That's where he goes. Yeah. And you've got to establish the backcourt of Dixon and Trimble. You obviously know your two leaders of the 4-5 guys, Caleb and
Vesser, Caleb Wilson. Yep. Trimble. Yep.
I don't know who the fifth is that you put in there to start.
I would go with the 3-point shooter. I would go with Powell, even though he seems to be falling out of favor for Jaden Young.
And you don't always have to do it like make the Smith Center crowd clap because there's 5 guys coming in. You don't have to do it like truly make it the blue team. But basically, you have your like NBA rotation where a second team of guys is going to come in, and your microwave is Bogovac. Just go like, hey, let it fly, because we know he's not going to pass to the post anyway. So go ahead and put him in there when there aren't any post people in, and just let it run. That would be my solution to how to do it. I think everybody's just a little bit happier, and you play better when you're a little bit happier. So
I tried to fix Carolina last week where I said I think Dixon needs to be their starting point guard.
I'm down with Dixon.
I thought
Trimble, the two
he
bigs.
acquitted himself nicely. Obviously, there's no magic potion. If you're not going to switch and play hard on defense, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing Hubert can do. There's nothing anyone can do if you're not going to play with the required intensity and urgency on defense. Full stop.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I believe Paul is getting to the heart of how this is all tied together, and I'll try to pull my best Joe Ovius here and weave a thread to how these all kind of intersect. Obviously, Carolina fans are mad at Hubert Davis because they have an expectation of what Carolina basketball should be. Carolina basketball, while they're over there losing and getting swept by Stanford and Cal, Duke is coming behind.
And
going,
that doesn't feel good either.
You lost to Stanford?
Wait, it's tough to travel out west.
Wait. No one could go out west and do this, huh? Well, shit. We'll start with Cal. We'll beat them 71-56.
Yeah, beat downs on people.
I mean, that was easy, right? Oh, you gave up 95 points to Stanford? Oh shit. Well, we beat them by 30. It's 80-50. That's the mindset. I get that from Paul. Unacceptable. I totally get that.
I have this saying that nothing happens in a vacuum.
You have a saying.
Yeah, this is I've always said this. Yeah,
always.
I want to bring that to the pod.
But you started on Sports Channel 8. Probably.
Yes. So that turns that makes the weekend look even worse. Yeah,
I get that. But now, if I could tie in NC State's woes to this, I think we all kind of sort of need to square. Speaking of sayings. College basketball is a year-to-year proposition. If you're going to rebuild your roster every year, guess what you're going to have to do every year? Teach your roster how to play together and play with urgency and defend. And I think the good news for Carolina is you can fix those things. For NC State, after losing to Georgia Tech, I think there are some things that can be fixed as well. But I think this is the state of college basketball now. It's going to take some time. Carolina, the year they went to the Final Four, it took time to figure out that Brady Manick was the bus driver. It took time to figure out your hierarchy. I get it. You have more of a clear-cut hierarchy and an identity this year at Carolina. Okay, and we'll get into that's, to me, that's State's biggest problem. Shouts to Joe Ovius, who's out in Salt Lake City today with the Junior Canes. State doesn't have an identity. That's what their problem is. Carolina just doesn't know how to play defense. You can fix some of that.
Right.
To your point, you can pull some strings and change your rotation and try to motivate guys in a different way. And I get that Hubert has failures on that front, but this is college basketball now. Look at Michigan. They were running hotter than the fucking sun.
And then they lose 2 in a row.
And now all of a sudden it's like, well, what happened to the team that was beating Gonzaga and other teams by 40? Like, where did they go? What happened? None of these guys play together anymore. So there's no continuity. There's no consistency. Yes, you see the better coaches, Florida, coming on right now.
Yep.
You see UConn coming on right now. Arizona, they seem to have found a groove for how they want to play basketball. I get that. You tip your hat to those coaches for the success that they've had. But I don't. And you know who's ruining this for everybody? For everybody. And I have my own pet theory about this. Ryan Odom at Virginia. Because a lot of state fans, just like Carolina fans, were upset on Saturday about losing a basketball game, losing an ACC game specifically. Hey, why are you losing to Cal? They're 1-4 in the league. Hey, why are you losing to Georgia Tech? They're whatever. They only had one win coming in here. I watch these teams. I'm here for Georgia Tech, and we'll get into that, of course. But I'm here. I'm like, Georgia Tech's got players. They got guys. Well, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Boston College, who ended up beating Syracuse in overtime this week. I told you, they got guys.
Hand is a player.
Hand is a baller. They got other guys. Like, this isn't 2, 3, 4 years ago. This isn't 2000 when Duke was, unbeaten and Maryland had one loss and Carolina was a third NCAA tournament, and that's it. Like, from top to bottom, there's teams who are going to be able to beat you on any given night. Georgia Tech probably should have beaten Duke at Duke, and I get it. You have Virginia running super hot right now. They go to SMU. They beat a good SMU team on the road. I get that.
I thought we were going to see Booby Magic there. It was setting up like we might see Booby Magic again.
I totally get that. There's always an exception to the rule. But I think that's maybe the new rule. You're going to have 12 new coaches every year in power conferences, right? 10 to 12. One of them's going to have just a rocket ship up their ass, and it's going to work out for them. Or last year, that was Louisville.
Yes.
Where's Louisville right now?
Yeah, I don't even
Where
know.
are they?
I don't even know. Honestly.
No, they're not good. Okay? So what I'm getting at is the stars are going to align for you every now and then. The stars will, Carolina, like Hubert's first year, the stars are going to align for you every now and then. State 24. The stars are going to align for you every now and then. But the nature of college basketball right now is it's a year-to-year proposition. There's talent across the board. Duke right now is doing it better regularly than anyone. And I understand that would be a Carolina fan's frustration that Duke seems to have solved the quote-unquote problem with college basketball. So let's play a call from a Duke fan, because I now have an answer for you for this as well, because to me, it gets us back to our great existential crisis of what is success and what really matters. So here's a Duke fan.
Hey, Joe, it's Jake, the Duke fan, calling back. Heard the OG Mailbag, Sports Phone, Carolina fans, all depressed, saying, love you, mean it, Hubert. Time to move on. I don't get it, man. All I've heard for 4 years is that Carolina has been to 3 national title games since Duke's last one, and Hubert beat Coach K, Cameron, and in the Final Four. That's what I've been told is what matters, is making the title game and losing it. But seriously, Hubert, 3-3 in Q1. Let him cook, man. Even year Hubert, he's going to turn this thing around. A split with Duke and apparently overrated Cam Boozer. I've also been told that. I've been told he's a free throw merchant. I've heard he's a me-bound merchant like Angel Reese. I've been told Hubert just needs to get his guys in there. I've been told Caleb Wilson is the savior. All of these things may be true. So I think Carolina fans just sit it out, wait it out, let Hubert cook, even your Hubert. And remember, you've been to 3 national title games since Duke's last one. And that's what matters. That's what matters, baby. Go watch that Caleb Love shot. Go, pull on your vape, suck on that lollipop. Just think about all of that. That's what matters, man. So, hey, I support Hubert. Even your Hubert, let him cook. Let him cook, baby. Go Duke.
All right, now, to be very clear, this is what the triangle is about, Duke.
Sure.
So talk your shit when you can talk your shit. So props to Jack on that call. Retort.
Well, I was going to say, my good friend Ben Swain at Duke.
Yeah.
He likes to position Duke as like almost that UNC is ECU to NC State. Basically, that guy's spending way too much time talking about UNC. When I hear Duke, it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, you guys care about us way more than we care about you.
Right.
So there's a little bit of you revealing something that you're not supposed
beefing
to.
Down, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. Like, that's what I hear from Duke, is that you're supposed to just be like collecting titles.
Kansas, Kentucky, UConn.
Yes, your rival is whoever the best
Florida
teams are that year.
Right.
So that guy's a little bit giving away the game of like, no, you're not supposed to be paying attention. You just. But Yes, he's right that nobody cares about making the title game, right? We count Final Fours and we count championships. We don't. To me,
I would count ACC titles. Too.
Oh, yes, ACC titles.
I would count what we do against each other as well. These are things 100%. That I think we all care about, right?
I meant specifically, like, there is a dichotomy between making a Final Four gets you bonus points and cred, whereas making a championship game truly is not.
Right.
Between Final Four and championship, making a championship game, he's right there. There's nothing, and I don't hear a lot of Carolina fans going around saying we made these championship games, but he's correct.
I think part of the push and pull in the triangle and nothing happened in a vacuum is, hey, and this kind of gets to my point and the existential question about Duke. Undoubtedly, they have a machine right now.
Yep.
Not only in men's basketball, okay, top 25 in women's basketball, ACC champions in football. All right, they have a money producing machine right now that they've been able to apply, and of course. Please don't get mad at me. Women's golf, lacrosse, everything else that they're fucking amazing at. I get that. Okay.
Are they still good at women's golf?
They are.
I assume they are.
A machine right now. But here's the part where, yes, talk your shit now because it's important that you celebrate your wins where you can. Okay. But this is what kind of annoys me. And Novius is not here to defend himself as a cosplaying Duke fan today. So this is what annoys me about Duke fans, though. They hand wave their tournament losses.
Right.
They hand wave them. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying that you should put up with Carolina fans shit over Caleb Love. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should listen to my shit when you lose to State twice in March in 24. I'm not saying that either. But you can't lose to Houston in an epic collapse and then act like, well, it's fine because we'll be back next year. Shit, you might be back next year. You might be ranked number 1. You might win the league again. All those things do matter. But the losses matter too.
Yes.
You have to wear and sit in your losses. Now, what is the expiration date on those things? I don't know. But so far, you've lost to State and Carolina in the NCAA tournament. I would think you need to vanquish at least one of them in the tourney before you're back at the big kids table, the adult table to sit here and have arguments. And then to have the Houston loss last year, as I've had Duke fans point out to me, when we did the year in review, they're like, you were really nice to John Shire about what happened last year. And I'm like, I think for the most part, we had a conversation with John in Charlotte where he basically said, that was like my 99 team.
Yeah.
And there are years when you don't win it. Nothing's promised in that tournament. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, and so to that caller's point, watch it. And I wouldn't predict this to happen. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it very easily could happen that UNC and Duke split.
Oh, yeah.
And Duke loses their second NCAA tournament game, and it's out in the first weekend, and UNC wins 2 tournament games, and all of a sudden the season, judging the season by the middle of conference season is just not usually a good. I mean, we watched Dean Smith lose 3 games in a row in 1997, and then they go to the Final Four. We've seen it happen. I wouldn't get to your point. Talk your shit when your team crushes on a weekend in California. And your rival team, shits the bed. But watch out if they split and UNC goes a round or 2 further in the tournament because they don't have to face somebody else. Like this year's gonna look different in retrospect.
One thing I think Duke fans have right is nothing ended with Case Rain and with those twin wins. Carolina's fans should celebrate them. They should talk about them, but it didn't end the rivalry.
Correct.
It actually set up John fairly well. And again, I want to be super clear that Nina King and Rachel Baker deserve a ton of credit for the machine that is rolling over there. But ultimately, to your point, when you're a blue blood, which Duke obviously is, the championships, the Final Fours, they matter.
Yes.
The tournament matters. And they know this. Is it great to have the brotherhood? Is it great to have produce the guys in the NBA the way that they are? That's phenomenal. Is their consistency is admirable? Absolutely. But again, the Houston loss, the State loss, the Carolina losses, they all matter. They matter a little bit more than going out in California and sweeping Stanford and Cal. They just do.
Yes.
That's the way it goes.
And I don't think as a UNC fan it counts as like he's like, oh, I was told the rivalry ended or whatever. Look, the rivalry didn't end with those. Those were big wins for UNC, beating K in his final game and beating K in the Final Four. Am I still going to make jokes when Jay Williams is back and they're honoring the team? Am I going to say, oh, is he going to be calling timeouts from the sideline when he's there? Because I remember the last time he was doing that. Yes, those jokes are still on the table. That game was lost, but that doesn't I don't know. That's not trying to make it a bigger deal than it is. That's not trying to say Hubert Davis is doing better than John Shire because he won those games. Like, but yeah, you're going to catch those jokes about those. The way K's career ended, UNC fans are always going to make those jokes, right?
I think for State and Carolina, what's important right now is you realize there's going to be some of these bumps, and then you have to react to them, and you have to adjust to them. Now, a little bit about State. They play Georgia Tech here. They had a week off. I had asked Will Wade. There are a lot of coaches who will tell you when they play as well as they did against Florida State, they're worried.
You're worried. Yeah.
You are like, God damn, there ain't no way we're going to be able to duplicate that.
Yep.
And then when you say, hey, you're also going to play a team in Georgia Tech who just got their shit packed by Pitt, you're like,
yeah, we'll just go.
They're
you scoring 20, am I scoring 20?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
like,
Come on, let's go.
You know they're going to be motivated to respond unless they're a corpse, which obviously they're not. And then you combine there was no midweek game. Chip Alexander's been covering the league forever. Chip's has done such a great job at the News Observer. One of the things I always remember about Chip would say, hey, you know what really sucks? They're not playing this week. Yeah. State's not playing this week. You want to get back out there and you want to keep going.
Yes.
So
rather than having to force intensity in practice or fight, like keep the intensity going after a 50-point win or whatever. Like, that's 5 days of practice. That's hard.
So I think there were a lot of forces at work against NC State in that game. That doesn't excuse losing to Georgia Tech at home. I'm just saying there are a lot of forces at work there. The one thing I did not like from Will Wade in the post game was he said, we're not a rocket ship. We're not going to just take off and go like this and win 7 or 8 games in a row. I think we're here at the Hurricanes right now, and Ron Francis was the first player that I covered who said this. You can't let the highs get too high. You can't let the lows get too low. Will is on a fucking up, down. Like he needs to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to tell him how to lead. I'm not trying to tell him a coach. But you can't publicly come out and say all of the things that he said. First of all, I'm going to hand wave those right now. This one specifically, he's saying, he was very dejected in the postgame. I get that. And Jaden Fisher from the News Observer had tried to be like, hey, you really haven't had that many bad losses. And he interrupted her like, no, this is terrible. This is a Q4. Like the one thing on our resume that was really good about us was we didn't have anything bad. And now we have something bad. And then he starts going in on like, hey, like, I don't know how we're going to respond. And I just know this, we're not a rocket ship. Look, I get it. You tried to speak the Red Reckoning into existence. I get that. But you can't take a dump on your players and say, well, there's no way we're going to reel off 7 or 8, 9, 10 wins in a row.
Isn't that kind of what you need to do in the postseason? Like, aren't you trying to win 6 in a row at that point?
Sir, my advice to you is get yourself a better consigliere than you have right now for these post games. Because, and I think these are things you learn. You're at VCU. Everything's sunshine and fucking rainbows at VCU.
We talked about this. Even at LSU.
You're at LSU and everyone's like, hey, look at you guys. Hey, isn't that cute? You're in the tournament. You might even win the SEC. That's fucking awesome, coach. That's great. Hey, can you get me tickets to the Alabama game?
Yeah.
You mean hoops? No, football.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, do you know if we're gonna sign the 3rd string tight end from the Jesuit Catholic?
They're not even sending the good LSU bloggers to the basketball game. It's like the 3rd tier guy from the LSU bloggers.
He needs someone in his corner explaining to him, hey man, everything doesn't have to be this raw, emotional confessional. I don't even know if he's Catholic. He's from Tennessee. He's probably not, but like, hey buddy, you need a governor right now. I don't think it's productive to talk the way that he does, all the spectrums. I'm not trying to advocate for a boring post game. I do appreciate a coach who is colorful, but at some point your messaging needs to be refined. And I think that'll probably be one of his biggest takeaways from this year, would be my guess. He's a really smart guy. Yeah. I've had people text me like, hey, is he a fraud? Is he this? Is he that? because they think we're adversarial. We're not adversarial. He's a really smart guy, and I think he will figure it out. But I think the construction of this team has been flawed. I've said it from the beginning. I said it from the South Carolina game for your bingo card. I just think he's going to have to solve the problem that he has in front of him. He's trying to. I know some of my people who know say Darian Williams really is hurt. All these other things, I get that. The bottom line is you can't give Darian Williams Kadir Copeland's personality. You can't.
Right.
Whether he's healthy or whether and they needed someone like Darian to be Caleb Wilson, to be Cam Boozer, and he's obviously not. So how do you adjust to that? He's tried all of these different things now, tried all these different ways, and you got to play the hand that you have. I think he's trying to do that, but you can't. You got to be careful with these post-game messaging. I laughed because I used those exact words to describe NC State, Mark Gottfried's first year. Like, here's this team. I wrote it in the News Observer. Here's this team. They lost all of their big games that year.
Right.
Syracuse was number 1, non-conference, came here, lost. Played Indiana in the Big Ten Challenge. They were a top 5 team, lost. Carolina famously beat them 3 times that year, lost. Duke, I think they only played once. They might have beat Duke that year, but either way, they lost. No, they didn't beat Duke. They lost every big game they lost that year. They showed up in the tournament, and I literally wrote, they are riding a rocket ship of confidence right now. Like, and how? For what fucking reason? Right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you can snap a finger sometimes, but that takes time. And this is the longest opening segment ever. Obvious is I can hear him screaming at me. But that's the year-to-year proposition. You got to know your group. You have to know your players. They have to trust you. And there has to be your job as a coach is to put your players in the best position to win and give them confidence to believe they're better than they really are. That's your job.
To repeat something that I said the last time we were together, I think the one thing I loved the Red Reckoning. Everybody did. It's like, right? You wrote in. Well, you wrote in and said exactly what the people wanted to hear who are fired up.
You fed
the
Red
fans
to the fans. Yes. You did.
The one thing that I feel like you shouldn't have said was, and this ain't going to take long, right? Because like you said, he's not a fraud. Everyone believes he's a good basketball coach. And there's a decent chance that if he coaches 5 years at NC State, 3 or 4 of those years are probably going to be very good, but you don't know what order you're going to get them in. And so for you to be, and that just seems a little arrogant. This ain't going to take long.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's a lot of people who've been grinding as ACC or college basketball coach and be like, man, I don't know, man. Like,
hey, man, Duke is Duke.
Yeah.
Carolina, for whatever existential crisis they're going through over there. So, yeah. Man, but ultimately, I would say the season's not over for State and Carolina.
No.
It may not end or be the road that you want.
Don't fire any coaches.
But you got to simmer down a little bit. And the good thing for Carolina is the Duke games are out there. The only thing I'm saying for State is those games are so late.
Yeah.
And you get them once, but it's here, but you only get them once. That's what I'm trying to reconcile as an ACC fan, as an ACC observer, ACC historian, is like, you're just going to get one look at these teams.
Yeah.
And that's unusual.
The other thing that's crazy is things feel terrible right now. If the NCAA tournament field were picked right now, UNC's definitely still in it.
Absolutely.
And NC State has a pretty darn good chance of being in, right? Like that's at the end of the day, that's kind of all that matters. Like you get in and then you see what you do there, right?
Yeah.
I do have to hit on one slice of life thing at the NC State game. Joe Giglio getting CW.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. What? I can't even talk about that.
All right, we'll get there. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You're pushing down my good stuff. I can't break down the X and O, but I can promote the podcast.
We were sitting right here.
I want to know how it happened. All right. If you tell me I gotta wait, I'll wait.
Housekeeping is brought to you today by the Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, the OG. Hazen Lancaster does not believe in contracts, but he does believe in saving you money. So do me a favor, go to bugsbite.com. That's bugsbite.com. Ants, you're famous for explaining North Carolina weather. Like it's cold and all of a sudden it's going to be like 50 or 60 degrees and all of a sudden you got an ant in your kitchen. What is going on? Termites. I don't know if you know this, but you have to have a termite contract to live in an old home in North Carolina. They handle termites as well. And then moisture barrier under your house. I'm from New Jersey. We have finished basements. We don't really have those here. I've always found that unusual. I had Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, 360 moisture barrier treatment underneath because I have like a full-on walk-in crawl space. It should have been finished. It's a thing. I don't know. So go check them out, bugsbite.com. And then feeling for the Whitaker family, I say this seriously. They're Bills fans. Charlotte is from New York. She's a big Bills fan. Their sons are Bills fans. Josh has adopted the Bills, obviously, through his family. We're going to get to them. Ooh, man. My gosh, I blame Ovius for this specifically, but
why is Ovius getting the money? All right,
we'll get into that.
All these things I'm ready to talk about. We're gonna put it off.
So please, all of your legal needs, wh.lawyer, or if you're a Bills fan, need to go drown some of your sorrows, head over to Shaneys in downtown Garner. They can take care of you. Speaking of Garner, my guy Matt Davis. You know what I'm terrible at? Financial planning. You know who can actually help you with like actual financial advice and retirement and how to take care of yourself and all those good things? Matt Davis. It's not just insurance. InsureGarner.com. Give him a call. 919-779-8277. Maybe you're like most of our demographic. You're in your 30s or your late 20s, and you're like, Giglio, I don't need financial planning or retirement advice. Actually, you do.
Do it now.
Because a little bit now will go a long way at the end. So check him out. It's InsureGarner.com. And it feels like we're live today. Well, we are. Normally, these live shows are brought to you by the Butcher's Market.
What do you mean feels like we're live? I'm like, I think we are.
Out-of-body experience. Right? Yeah. Not quite live because we are not the Butcher's Market live, but go check them out. Go to my home base right over here in Lake Wheeler. I'm actually going to get a steak sandwich after the game because it's been a minute. Okay. And I love it when I leave the arena. I'm very close to the Lake Boone epicenter there. So go check them out at butchersmarkets.com. Carrie, I drove by the OG Butcher's Market this weekend. Took the boss out. We had a date night on Friday in downtown Cary. Downtown Cary's on the come up, man. My gosh.
Once they started letting people paint with colors and making everything not beige, like it's
crazy.
It's a whole new world.
And I'm going to back up to show you the swag, the new swag. I'm going to ruin the mic setup, so I won't. I think you can see it. Ovius and Giglio.
It's tight.
Waffle House style. There's a link in there. Big shouts to Mikey P, the secret shop. So go check that out as well. All right, now let's be a grown-up podcast and hit a transition.
Wait. We're here at the arena and we're a little bit before pregame, and so they're like testing out things.
Yeah.
And so I keep like you hit a button to do something, and then like a light goes. I keep thinking that like we were accidentally tapping into the lights, but no, just coincidence. So,
all right, 38 minutes later, we now will get into what everyone else is talking about today, and that's fine because that's not who we are. We are local. However,
NFL playoffs.
The NFL playoffs. You want to start with the thing that's going to piss me off the most, or do you want me to kind of take some baby steps into where we are?
Let's talk about Buffalo. I
want to start with
Buffalo because they're here right now. First of all, I just want to say the Canes are playing Buffalo today. I need like the thing is, we know the Canes are being cheeky online. I don't know that they necessarily get cheeky that way in the arena. That can be seen as like not very Southern-like. Like, you're supposed, but I would love some like Bills highlights from last night running through a game here. Or if the Canes win today, I need some reference to Buffalo football in the, when you do the like we won, and you do the tweet that says we won with like an image. I need it to have like some shout out to the football team as well.
Well, I gave you the Tony Soprano line of "Don't shit where you eat." The Canes know their demographics.
No, I know
they have a lot of Bills fans.
Yeah, but come on,
the Venn diagram of Bills fans and Canes fans who live here. There's a pretty good overlap there, sir.
Yeah,
these are not like old school Pamela Anderson tits. These are like old saggy on top of each other circles.
I know, but I still think it's your chance. Like, look, that's the Canes' opponent today. Sorry. I know that it'll bring out all the Buffalo fans, but I think you get to hit them with some weekend highlights.
So this is 100% Joe Ovius' fault. Last week we were talking about the playoffs, and I said the Bills are cursed. Straight up, the Bills are cursed.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What do you mean the Bills are cursed?" And I was like, buddy. Do we want to go into everything?
4 Super Bowls in a row.
So the next day I came on the air and I went through all of their history of issues. And poor Sean McDermott was fired today. To be quite frank with you, he should have been fired after the 13-second loss to the Chiefs in 2022, I believe. No, he should have been fired.
Man, I don't know.
There were 13 seconds left in that football game. There shouldn't have been 13. He mismanaged the clock to begin with, and then somehow, as a defensive coach, allowed a team with 2 fucking players. I would have only covered those 2 players.
Yes.
Okay.
Russ Mahomes and cover Kelsey.
Yeah,
and
hello.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, they're cursed. That play in overtime for Cooks. I'm just going to go to Richard Sherman on this. I don't know if you saw the tweet from Richard Sherman. I'm not going to pull it up, but Richard Sherman, Hall of Famer, one of the best defensive backs to play in the league history. Straight up, there was a Darren Orlovsky tweet. He retweeted it and said, I have never, as a defensive back, I have never seen this called an interception in my life.
His point of, if you've seen guys come down and they're both holding it and they land.
That was Orlovsky's original tweet.
That always
goes to the runner.
Yeah, that always has gone to the offense.
Yes.
We've always done that.
So,
all right. So, well, let me ask you, what's your opinion?
They fucked up the call.
Okay.
They fucked up the call. Like straight up.
I think that's probably the right answer.
But that's because you're cursed.
But I will say,
not because there's a league conspiracy, but I think you're cursed.
Every time I've watched it like frame by frame, and I think I'm ready to be like, there he is. He's down. He's got the ball. It's over. That's it, whatever. In the next frame, inexplicably, it seems like he has no hands in the ball and it's 100% in the
ECU defensive backs play.
It's almost like you can't tell whose hands are in there. But yes, it was crazy, and it'll go down a lore of like
with the Music City
cursed.
Miracle, with wide right, with 13 seconds, with all these other things. Now, that does not absolve Josh Allen for the way that he played in this football game. Also, the 2 pass interference calls in overtime were complete and total horseshit. Josh Allen turning the ball over at the end of the first half cost them the football game, to the point where when Denver scored, I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be 17-10. I literally turned it off to put the basketball game on to watch the Carolina game.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I look at my phone, it's 20-10. I'm like, what the hell happened? And to see it, they had no timeouts. He's running willy-nilly and fumbles the ball and gives them 3 free points. Well, those 3 points mattered. The turnovers in this game, like, to your point, if you're a Sean McDermott apologist, or if you want to send me Sean McDermott's been a coach for 8 years. They've been in the playoffs 7 years, done this, that, and the other.
I'm a little on that.
But here's that gets into my theory on coaching. Either you is or you ain't. And it usually happens in the first 3 years. If you don't do it in your first 3 years,
show us something.
I get it, Dean Smith. I get it, Mike Krzyzewski. I hear you. But in modern sports right now, if it doesn't happen in the first 3 years, it's not happening. Okay, so that's my theory on that. We're getting a warm up from the Kids' Day national anthem here. I think we'll be okay. We're standing in spirit. We're being respectful in spirit, but they are just practicing. So to me, this game goes 50% on Josh Allen for the turnovers, 50% on the officials. But if you're a Bills fan and the second that thing went to overtime, you already knew how it was going to end.
100%.
You already knew how it was going to end. Now,
didn't we? Bamani gets on this of like, Allen has managed to escape criticism that we would have heaped on tons of other people. If Lamar Jackson had his losses, and he loves to point out but it's almost like everybody gives him a win for the 13-second game, because it's not Josh Allen's fault, but also you didn't win, right? But he does dumb things, makes bad decisions in ways. Do you remember earlier this year when Mike Greenberg tried to say Josh Allen was the best quarterback of all time? Do you remember this? He had like a good 2 or 3 game stretch.
I try to stay away from the ESPN discourse.
Me too.
Certain topics,
but it is weird how much we treat this guy as if he is on the level of Brady, Manning. You can say the best ever do it
because you're here. You're allowed to say it. The white Cam Newton does not get criticized the way the black Cam Newton gets criticized. They're very similar players. Very, very similar players. I hate it for Buffalo fans, but I kind of secretly there's a normalcy that I enjoy. That there's a suffering there. They wear their suffering. They own their suffering. That's part of their identity.
Sure.
I don't want to be in the world like for the Red Sox. and the Patriots.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be in the world where everything turns around and Buffalo gets to tell everyone the way that the Patriots do. And that's a perfect segue to the Patriots right now.
From what's the opposite of cursed?
What's
the opposite of cursed?
Just charmed. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Could the Patriots have an easier path in the history of football? They literally had the easiest schedule this century.
Verifiable.
Statistically, they had the easiest schedule in the NFL of the last 25 years this year. Fine. As Joe Ovius likes to say, you still have to take advantage of that. They did. Perfect. I get that. They get, in the first round of the playoffs, they get to play a Chargers team missing what? 40% of their offensive line? Cool. Again, they hammer cock
Don't even
the Chargers.
Have to do much
doesn't
on
matter.
Offense. They win with 16 points.
Then they play Houston, who was missing Nico Collins, literally their only offensive good skill player. Oh, they have a white tight end. Oh,
he gets hurt.
He made one big player,
play,
and then he gets hurt. And now CJ Stroud,
13 interceptions, I think it was.
CJ Stroud,
17 interceptions.
CJ Stroud as a rookie. CJ Stroud as a rookie threw 5 interceptions in statistically the best rookie season in NFL history. In 2 playoff games, he threw 5 interceptions, not to mention the fumbles as well. What a disaster piece from Houston. Then you're like, well, that's fine, Joe. They still have to go on the road.
Denver, tough place to play.
Now they play Denver, whose quarterback got hurt. No shit. Victory formation, kneeling the ball down. Are you kidding?
I have heard that maybe it was the play before, technically, not the victory formation. But point remains, can you imagine what it feels like? And there's some good TikTok videos out there of this. You're Denver. You've had a great season. Now you're in the Final Four, and like you saw the game win. Most people don't sit around for the divisional round playoffs and watch the all the post game, right? Like when your team wins a championship, you sit up all night and watch every player say everything. But you're like, you won the game, and you're like, all right, let's turn the music back up, or let's go to the bar, or whatever. And then people are like, hey man, by the way, quarterback broke his neck. You're like, what are you talking about? Like that. I was watching.
Oh, that's fine. We got a good backup. Oh shit, it's Jarrett Stidham.
But at least he played a couple games this year, right?
I don't think so. I don't think he took a snap this year.
No, it was a joke. He did not throw a pass at all this year. Okay. He threw 0 passes. So you got a guy who has not thrown a pass this year coming in, and it's Jarrett Stidham.
Unbelievable, dude. Totally and completely unbelievable.
Well, and let's also throw in there, and all credit to Drake May. And this is the part that's tough for me. It's like,
credit to Drake May for what? He played like shit yesterday.
I'm just saying credit to Drake May for being a good NFL quarterback. He didn't get any credit just for like the season, having a good completion percentage. But the point I was going to say is, wasn't he the 3rd quarterback taken in that draft?
Drake May had a really good season.
Yeah,
he was like, their skill players are not good. Their skill players, I thought, their receivers, Booty, Douglas, Diggs, they actually played a really good game against Houston. To be honest,
I'm just speaking to the Patriots' blessedness. Wasn't he the 3rd quarterback taken? Don't you think if the Patriots had a higher pick, maybe they would have gone with one of the other guys? And now it turns out you may have gotten the best one.
Yeah. No, listen, they're charmed. They're totally charmed. I'll jinx it. Fine. I've been talking openly about my tickets. I took a Patriots-Rams ticket because Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win was over the Rams in a game they shouldn't have won. His last with the Patriots was over the Rams and Sean McVay. So history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So I have a nice ticket on the Rams and Patriots to be there. We're all kind of assuming the Patriots are going to beat Denver. I suspect that game is probably going to be a little bit closer than we all think. We'll see what Mike Vrabel can do against Sean Payton, who they're gonna play the loop-de-loop. They're gonna have a wildcat. They're gonna have you name it.
Yep.
They're gonna unload.
Scheme it up. Yep.
They're gonna unload the playbook for that game. They also have an excellent defense. On the NFC side, and speaking of that quarterback draft class, I'm not gonna lie to you. As the kids like to say, it's slightly problematic. Caleb Williams has a reputation for being slightly zesty, if you will, with his fingernails.
Yes.
I have never seen a quarterback make the play that he did at the end of regulation.
It was unreal.
That has never been done from a 50-yard rope off his back foot, falling backwards over 3 defenders into the corner of the end zone in freezing temperatures with whatever wind was swirling. That was a 1-of-1 throw. So I finally get it. USC, Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley, Bears fans, I finally see the light on that one. That was an amazing
If that play was 9 seconds long, from like the 0.2 second into the play to the 8.8 second mark, you're like, this is a disaster. Like he
just kept going backwards.
As soon as he snapped it, it felt like there was 2 dudes in his face. You're like, disaster.
He's
running backwards. And then when he throws it, you're like, well, there's no way this happens. Like, it's either going to sail out of bounds or it's going to a pile of like 4 dudes, and there's going to be one bear who's going to try and get up there. You're like, oh my God.
What just happened? That was an amazing football play.
An amazing job to create space. But if you go look, it is not offensive pass interference.
I didn't think so.
He didn't extend. He jostled and created space, but it was not pass interference.
I have questions what that Rams corner was doing because given the circumstance, like, where did you think he was going?
Yeah.
Like, track the ball. Like, what are we doing?
And it was one of those, when he made that play, you assumed they were going to win in overtime. Like,
nope. That was a critical coaching error, in my opinion, by Ben Johnson.
Which one?
Ben Johnson is Johnny Analytics. Ben Johnson is Johnny, we go for it no matter what all the time. You go for 2 there. Even Chris Collinsworth on the previous possession said he's going to go for 2, isn't he? And I texted, because obviously my Rams taking very invested in the Rams. I was like, he didn't go for 2? That was a big mistake. I laughed because my dad coached high school football. Okay, I was an offensive line coach for high school football. So a lot of the things I know about football are through the lens of high school football. So I laughed because during the Patriots telecast, they were celebrating how Mike Vrabel's the coachiest of coaches. On the first day of practice, he had them learn victory formation. I said to James, I go, do you know what every good high school coach does on the first day of practice?
Practice victory formation.
Hey guys, we're going to be winning a lot of games this year on the first day of practice. So what you do is we're going to get right now. This is how we do victory formation
every game. Like this.
Just this is how
11 times this year.
Okay.
We're doing this.
All right. That's number 1. Number 2. Now, my dad coached with Greg Toll. There's a lot of people in this audience actually who would know who Greg Toll is. His sons played at Boston College. He is a legendary coach in New Jersey. All right. Greg Toll basically ran 4 plays, right? Basically.
Right.
But on the first day of practice, Greg Toll would go to his teams and say, here's our 2-point play. Okay? Because at some point of this year, we're going to need this. And we're going to run this every day in practice until you all fucking know it backwards and forwards. And because when the season's on the line, we're going to be prepared. This is the play we're going to run.
Everyone's going to know every option.
Everyone's going to know.
When you see your defender, you know what you're going to do, and the quarterback's going to know exactly what you're going to do. Basically, you're all going to see it the exact same way, and we're all going to be on the same page.
And I tell you what, Tom O'Brien had that too. And if Tom O'Brien had it, then Belichick's got it too. All good coaches prepare, and that's what they do with their team. Ben Johnson is Johnny aggressiveness, Johnny analytics. You're at home, whether you like it or not, you're the inferior team.
Yeah.
You go and I've always thought of it this way as a coach, if I'm a coach. Would you rather your season's on the line? I need a little bit of water here.
Oof. This guy's getting into it.
And we didn't beat the music, so I apologize.
It's all right.
Your season's on the line. Would you rather have to gain 3 yards with the ball or stop the other team from gaining 3 yards?
Yeah.
I think everyone would almost, to a man or person,
and you got a quarterback that can run,
would want the ball to make the one play. And again, in this situation, it's to win the game.
Yeah.
And one of my other great axioms, be who you are. Ben Johnson. Gordon Miller is a Lions fan who still hates you for all of your aggressiveness. It probably likes you today. I think he ended up betting on the Rams yesterday. But you got to be who you are. Play to your identity. And to have that kind of out-of-body decision, to me, betrays who you are. So I thought that was a tremendous mistake by a first-year coach. I'll take it. And now we get the Rams who go to Charlotte, kind of get away with it. Go to Chicago, definitely get away with it. Now they go get Sam Darnold in the NFC Championship game.
Everybody's waiting to fall apart.
And everyone's kind of waiting.
But right now, when you say the Seahawks would you make the Seahawks the favorite of the 4 teams left?
They are.
I think they definitely are.
Absolutely, the way that they're playing.
They just look.
They'll be at home.
They have one of those defenses where it looks like they hit you harder than like other people. It's not just the schemes and where they get you, but who's the state kid?
Thomas.
Yes.
Drake Thomas.
He just looks like he hits harder than other people.
He does.
It's not, and they got a bunch of dudes like that, and they just look
perpetually pissed off.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
But
shouts to our friends at Roback. Use that promo code OG20. You can save 20%. You could be ready for a playoff game. I would head out to Seattle in a second to go see them play. That should be a great game next week, Seattle and the Rams. Go finish your point, though.
All I was going to say is it feels like either the Seahawks are going to win, not in a blowout. It feels like they're going to flex the team they are and win, or if they lose, the script is going to be Sam Darnold completely falling apart and shitting himself.
I know this for sure.
It doesn't feel like Sam Darnold could play well and they will lose, right?
There are 2 franchises that owe the New England Patriots. Number 1 is the Rams, or number 2 is the Rams. You know, Sean McVay got schooled famously,
right?
Because he was in Jared Goff's head, communication, and Belichick figured out how to switch it with 15 seconds left. Outcoached Sean McVay, taught him a lesson in the Super Bowl 2018. 2001 Spygate, they still owe them for that one as too, by the way. But holy shit, the Seahawks, with the single dumbest play call in the history of organized football, throwing the pass instead of giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch, they fucking owe the Patriots. All right? So, and if you want to have the best look on the golf course, what an ad read here. Roback.com, RHO back, Roback.com. That's OG20. Use our promo code and save 20%. I mentioned Gordon Miller and how he really doesn't like anything to do with Ben Johnson or the Chicago Bears. He knows a lot, though, about refinancing and mortgages. The no closing cost loan. He originated it. He's the master of it. Give Austin Herbert a call, 919-447-3377, or go to MillerLending.com. Make sure you let them know you heard about Miller Lending on the OG, because then you're going to get a Roback shirt. You're going to get a gift basket from the Butcher's Market, and you're also going to get a loan, a mortgage that's going to help you consolidate some of your debt. And you're also going to get no closing costs. So if the rate changes, guess what? You can change it at no cost. So give our friends over at Miller Lending please check them out at MillerLending.com. We also have big shouts to the Grill Rescue, NC Grill Rescue, ncgrillrescue.com. If your grill,
I'm going to use them this year.
You should.
When it gets a little bit warmer.
They do a great job. If you want to be ready for the Super Bowl, hit them up, ncgrillrescue.com. They do an unbelievable job. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Joe, my grill, I don't have one of these like Cadillac grills. Yeah. But here's the truth. You know your grill better than anybody.
Yes.
And so I get caught up in this rut of every year going and buying a new grill because I'm like, I just paid like $250 for it. Like, what am I, hey, I got a better idea. Know your hot spots, know where you are, get your own grill cleaned by our friends at the ncgrillrescue.com.
I truly do.
Great job.
My grill would be a challenge. Like I would expect them to show up and be like, hey man, we do great work, but I don't know. This might be
even by your standard.
Yeah, can we sell you a new grill over here? No, we'll see. I'll put them to the test. I bet they'll come through.
We are here at the Lenovo Center. The Hurricanes take on the Sabres at 1:30 today. It's Kids Day out here. So
not enough Bills football highlights for me yet. I need them running on a loop here. I mean, I get. I'm not trying to belabor the point. Yeah. Like, I respect the Buffalo fan passion and how it like spreads everywhere. Even though we can, you guys had Julian counts on it. Man, he sounds like he truly Hater. Like he must live in an apartment with a Buffalo fan on either side or something. Like, woo! and like it was personal to him. Like he took that personally. But it's like, yes, I respect that you have a whole freaking grocery store that you get to drop in the middle of Raleigh a Wegmans that puts out Buffalo, that acts as if they're in the middle of Buffalo. They're like, promoting the team and selling jerseys and everything. But like, if you're going to be that fan base, then expect to catch a little heat too. And I think the Canes should be showing Buffalo Bills highlights right now as fans walk in. But anyway.
So we haven't been on the air since the Hurricanes won what Alex Nunnally and I called a must-win regular season game.
Yes.
They played
that
the
one
Panthers.
Felt good for the soul. Felt good.
Played the Panthers on Friday, and they have blown a 2 or 3 goal lead in each of the games this year against the Panthers that obviously were eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Panthers last year, and previously had been in 23 eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Panthers. So mentally, there's obviously a hurdle to clear. And if they were to meet in the playoffs this year, just because they beat them 9-1 on Friday doesn't mean they're ahead in the series 1-0. But I think as far as regular season games go, that's about as important of one as you could put in your back pocket if you're Rod Brind'Amour and the Carolina Hurricanes.
I totally agree with you, except for one thing. We needed to exercise the demons. It's the Panthers, but there's one specific guy who is the demon because he's been the demon when he was with Boston, and now he is the demon,
Marchand.
And he wasn't on the ice.
Okay.
So it needed to be a 9-1 win, and somebody needed to lay him out. After the last time they played him, he hit our goalkeeper in the nuts with the stick and then scored and then made jokes about it. Like that, it was one thing to put up 9 on the team and put up 9 on their goalie. But
I was going to say, Bobrovsky.
I know. I couldn't believe
Mo made Bobrovsky wear that thing.
But we still, there needs to be some reckoning with Marchand before the playoffs. He needs to take a hit somewhere from somebody, maybe a Nikishin, maybe a Svechnikov, who, also, by the way, is playing great. But I also think it was almost as important the way they followed it up with another win, because the Canes have been a little rocky right now, and they were very flat coming out the first period. It's almost like you were talking about with the State winning by 50. You know what's coming next. They did. They looked like a team who was coming off a 9-1 win and was coasting a little bit, and they pulled it back together, and they were, second period Canes, and they got another win. I don't even know if the Devils are good, but I just know when you back up a 9-1 with a 4-1, and Anderson maybe looking like
I was going to say perhaps together, that was what was more important than anything else, was that it was Freddie in goal. So
all of that was soul cleansing, but I still got one for Marchand. Somebody needs to deliver.
And now, more importantly, when we talked to Rod Brind'Amour 2 weeks ago now, I was going to ask him about, hey, you got to feel pretty good. You've been missing all these guys, and you're still near the top of the conference. And he was like, nope, I don't want to talk about any of that, because you know why? I don't know what my team looks like. Because I haven't had my best player. And then at the time, Jarvis was out. And then you realize the slow start that Ehlers had. And now all of a sudden, the way that he's playing, you're like, oh, yeah. They gave that guy a big contract for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're getting to War Machine type territory.
It is
in this sense, specifically. When Slavin plays, they're now 7-0-2.
Okay.
That's
good. That's a good record.
They're 2 losses. You have a shutout loss to Florida. Shootout loss to Florida.
Yeah.
The game where they blew the lead. And they have an overtime loss at Detroit in a game where Gostisbehere was clearly fucking mugged, and they missed the call. So those are your 2 losses when Jacob Slavin plays.
Okay.
They're 7-0-2.
That's good to know.
When their best player plays.
Yep. And also, I don't pay attention enough to the lines. Are Aho and Svech playing together all the time now? Because there's something beautiful about
they have Ehlers with Aho and Svech.
Okay.
And it's really kind of unlocked a lot of good things for the Carolina.
Aho, Svech, 7 years ago or whenever it started, we were like, these 2 dudes are going to light it. And it would just be all those, I don't know if Aho assisted on all of Svech's goals versus New Jersey, but at least 2 of them. And one was perfect. It was like Aho was barreling towards the goal, and he turned. It wasn't just like a leave. He turned and passed it backwards, and Svech just buried it. And we're like, this is what we want. We don't want Aho to need to be the scorer. Obviously, it's great when he can score, but Aho setting things up beautifully, and then this huge Russian just launches shots that he's basically finishing alley-oops, right? Aho is just Ed Cotoing the ball to whoever, and Svech just comes and dunks it. Like, that is what we've been waiting for 7 years. I needed to continue through the entire playoffs.
So I have been waiting for the Hurricanes to make a move in my opinion, I would like for them to go get Naz Kadri from Calgary.
Didn't he?
Well, Calgary made a trade.
I was like, didn't he just get moved?
It was a different trade, though. They traded their defenseman, Rasmus Anderson, to the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, you're saying, well, what does that have to do with us? The haul and the price that Vegas had to pay to get Anderson from Calgary was steep and likely suggests, Giglio, you want this guy who is their best leading scorer, not young. He's an older player. It would be akin to getting Marchand last year is what this would be akin to. Why do you want to give up all these assets? In my opinion, I get it. Right now, the market is not for the faint of heart. I understand that. But in my opinion, I think you give away some of these assets to get a player like Kadri, he's got his name on the Stanley Cup. He has a little bit of that motherfucker element to him as well, which is desperately, needed, I believe, not only in the playoffs, but by the Canes specifically. So we'll see how this all works out. But I did note, oh, shit, Calgary ain't fooling around in terms of did you think you were going to give me Jesperi Kotkaniemi and a bag of fucking pucks?
Yes,
that's not happening.
That's my favorite fan fiction is hey, these three players we hate the most and we say suck. The other team would love to have these guys.
Right.
These guys that we say suck would be a great package. And also, I believe you're overlooking that the Canes acquired defenseman Kyle Masters and a 4th-round draft pick from the San Jose Sharks. So
okay,
this is a Sports Channel 8 Slack thread. We love to share a meaningless Tulski is just setting up pieces. Their contract, be like, this is it. The big trade has been made. We're locked in now with Kyle Masters and a 4th-round pick. So
there we go.
But yes, we are still waiting on a possible big trade.
Hey, we're talking about the Canes. Canes play Buffalo at 1:30 today. Our Canes coverage is always brought to you by Chris Brassfield. Brassfield Accounting, home base, Homer, Alaska. They have shop here, though, in RTP as well. They can now handle all of your bookkeeping and make sure all of your numbers are straight, invoices, HR, any kind of fractional CFO duties. And they handle taxes as well. So soup to nuts, everything your small business could ever need, or maybe you have a government loan, a government grant, they can help you with that as well. So please reach out to them. It's brassfieldaccounting.com. All right, Hayes, we're almost to your favorite part of the program.
I know you, and I'm a big fan of all. I use a lot of the OG. Yeah. I've always used Butcher's Market and Two Roosters, but when I saw the signs that were being made for you guys by your sign people, I was like,
Color Graphic. You wouldn't use them.
I wouldn't use them. I've considered using Brassfield Accounting. But I will say a big factor is just because I want to tell people that my account is in Alaska. I just want people to know that my taxes are being shipped not only across the continental U.S., but even further, and then shipped back to me.
Chris is a state guy.
I figured there had to be a local
about
connection.
Research Triangle. That's why they also have an office in the Research Triangle Park. So
Brassfield
Accounting.
Taxes. Especially, there's got to be loopholes we can get for,
I'll tell you who knows them.
If we, doing taxes in Alaska, there's got to be something I can get there.
Chris definitely knows them. You mentioned Two Roosters. Big shouts to our guy, Jared. He was rocking the Ovius and Giglio racing merch this weekend. Big shouts again to Mikey P for cooking that design up. So Two Roosters, we're in the building.
Yeah.
The best deal in the building is the Slave and Sunday. Go downstairs and get that. I got the hockey puck during the state game on Saturday.
So good.
Sammy sandwich, so the slam and Sammy, the puck sandwich. Whatever it was.
Opening game.
That thing was nice.
Also, peanut butter cookie dough is a problem.
It's on the list? Is it on the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, it's a problem because now I'm buying pints. I'd have to buy one for me and one for my wife.
Yeah.
And then I feel like mine's being dipped into. It's literally a problem at our house. So anyway.
Go check them out on the home base. They are also over at Lake Boone, but go check them out at their home base there over at, Franklin Street. Would you prefer me to say as opposed
to
the
North Person area? We call it the No P. No, I'm kidding. Nobody calls it that. No one calls it that.
If I had done that, you would have been like, what are you talking about?
North Person is my favorite node in Raleigh. Raleigh is developing nodes, but Two Roosters right there. You got the best pizza in Raleigh. You got two high-end restaurants. Scott Crawford's places.
A shout out. That's fine.
You got Oakwood Pizza Box, Yellow Dog Bakery. Person Street Bar is a great bar. Standard's a great bar. Stanberry, we're throwing that in there. They're just a block away. that is, to me, that's the coolest place, and Two Roosters is a big part of that. So
go right down the street, you'll find our friends at the Longleaf Swine. Adam is expanding his empire. He would like to give a big shout out to our friends in North Raleigh because they started doing pickups from the back patio of the Sola Cafe out of Greystone, right? So everything will be cold.
That's
with reheating instructions. Ordering closes every Tuesday at midnight. So place your order on the website, Longleaf Swine. But they're welcoming you to that new neighborhood over there in North Raleigh at Greystone. So please,
isn't that where? Isn't there a Two Roosters there too?
There is
so
one.
Now you've
got
Two Roosters and Longleaf, basically in the same parking lot.
And that is actually where their hatchery is. That's where they do all of their work over there. So, big shouts to our friends at Longleaf Swine. Again, make those orders at Longleaf Swine.
So that would be one of my favorite nodes, but it's too far away.
It's a little bit too far
for me. For many of our listeners, it's right in the heart of where you are.
We know how you work. So
I get the shakes when I get a little. That's a little far outside the bell line. Still inside 540. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, I was considering doing this as a lightning round, but I just figured it made more sense to do it as a Hey Joe. So we'll hit some different topics here in Hey Joe. And today it's brought to you by our friends at Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. That's myhtr.com. They have a Hometown Heroes program going on right now. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to new messaging, Joe. That means you got to look it up. Hayes, you give me a second here to.
I am. Yes. But I will. The people listening won't care. But let's take Hayes' notes out of the lightning round. Hey, we've gone long enough. I'll call in if I really need to hear something. And I may have forgotten my notepad where I had all my best notes on
but
there.
We'll get to those. I got you now. Hometown Hero program. They're monthly winners. And go to hometownhero.com. That's hometown with an E. Hometownhero.com. Nominate your hometown hero. Monthly winners, and they're going to have a year-end grand prize. This is all in celebration of their 25th anniversary of our friends at Hometown Realty. We cannot do what we do without them. So let's actually start with some college football before we get into Hayden Ass Hayes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're not even doing Hayden Ass Hayes. We've gone too long.
Okay.
If I need to, I know the phone number. I'll call in if I need to.
Okay.
And we'll have plenty of time to talk about the Dean Dome and things like that. We'll be talking about the Dean Dome plenty over the next year.
Well, we did have a lot to get into.
Yeah,
today.
we
it's
did.
Not really
literally did have
so
a lot
much
to get into.
So that here we are in the final segment, and we haven't even talked about the national championship tonight, which is being played with an ACC school on their home field against a former NC State assistant coach. Like
former
crazy.
Elon, I like to call him a former Elon head coach myself.
Absolutely, a former Elon Phoenix head coach as well. So Miami is an 8.5 point dog right now,
which sounds like a lot, but I think a lot of people could. I mean, the way Indiana has bludgeoned teams, I think people are not going to be surprised if it's a blowout.
The way Indiana has bludgeoned teams in the playoffs.
Yes.
In the regular season,
not all bludgeons.
Not all.
Sure.
That's where I'm kind of like our friend Josh Goodson, who is one of the great gamblers that either one of us know.
Yeah, nobody could pull a slot machine better than that guy.
Also, this is classic difference between me and Josh. I had a Miami ticket at the beginning of the year, 22-1. I was very happy with it.
To win it all or to be in the title?
Win it all. I cashed it when they lost the second game because I'm like, fuck, they're not even gonna make the playoff. I gotta take my money back for this beautiful 22-1 ticket. That same day, Josh grabbed Miami at 150-1 and now has a $20 ticket that could pay him $3,000.
Classic. Good
He's being offered a $600 payout right now. So he put it on Twitter. I'm not airing his laundry here. I'm only bringing it up because he put it on Twitter.
I've had this exact same conversation with him last night. We happened to cross each other on the street.
So I said, he goes, well, what, he put on Twitter, what should I do? I go, here's what I would do. Do the opposite of whatever I would do. And he was like, okay. So, well, what would you do? And that gets us to this game. I think Miami's going to give Indiana a game. I don't think Indiana is this generational war machine. I think they're really well coached. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. They were clinical in beating Oregon. Alabama did not deserve to be in the field. I think Indiana got to the Rose Bowl and had all the feels like, hey, this is fucking awesome, right? Better team than Alabama. Miami has a better roster than Indiana does.
Okay, so that
Miami's got better players.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Miami has a better defensive line. They have a better offensive line. They don't have a better quarterback, but they have better skill players than Indiana does. They do not have a better coach, though.
Yeah.
So what I think is going to happen is I think Miami's going to put up a fight. And I actually think with a different coach, Miami probably wins this football game. I do not trust Mario Cristobal to – you talk about existential questions. What does a coach matter? Because you have the coachiest of all coaches in Cignetti right now going against one of the biggest dunces in the business in Mario Cristobal. I'm sorry, Mario Cristobal and your family. You literally said out loud, though, that you don't believe in taking a knee. Like,
even
speaking of victory formation,
a game.
Speaking of victory formation, the man doesn't believe in victory. Like, wait, what? What?
You don't believe in making the absolute smart, correct play that would preserve this win for you, as opposed to bringing it off?
What do you mean?
Unbelievable!
Oh my God! So, and trying not to use his one game as an example. He's just he's bad at clock management. He doesn't really understand game management. They've been able to overcome that because they are outstanding defensively. Their defensive front is totally and completely legit. I've heard Fernando Mendoza even talk about it. Like, hey man, like we haven't, even Ohio State didn't have these guys. Okay. Yep. So I get all those things. I think it's gonna be a close game. I told Josh at halftime that if their cash out offer gets to $1,000 and the game's tied at half,
you might take it.
Cash it, because he won't outmaneuver Cignetti. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if they're up at halftime, well, fuck it, let it ride. It's a $20 ticket you can get money on.
Do you remember? I won't remember the years, but I believe Gene Stallings was the coach. The Alabama-Miami game,
91,
that famously had the play where
George
Alabama
Teague ran him down.
Yeah, Alabama. It looked like we're finally going to be. I don't know if Alabama was favored in that game. As a young child,
they were. Yes,
I probably was getting fed more Alabama stuff, and it felt like the media was probably hyping Alabama because I didn't realize that's the way college football works. And it was like, a little bit of the white guys versus the black guys going on, But like, if we see a play like that feels like that could be on the line of Indiana scheming things right, and some dude from Miami being like, but by the way, you're a great college player, and I'm going to be an NFL All-Pro, and just like either whether it's running somebody down or making a sack fumble or some play. Because I would be curious. There's going to be guys from this Indiana team that get drafted just because of the season they're having, not necessarily because they're surefire pros, starting with the quarterback. Like in many other years, I don't know if we'd be talking about Mendoza as like a number one pick.
Yeah.
And he's very possibly,
he's surgical. There's a lot of Bryce Young college traits in there. Yeah.
But he also could be like Jared Stidham, where it's like, so I would wonder.
Not overly athletic.
In 5 years from now, I'd be curious how many NFL starters are still in the NFL off this Miami team versus off this Indiana team, right? And if this Miami team truly has 6 5-year NFL starters, 2 on the defensive line, 1 on the offensive line, the speed guy, whatever, then maybe they do just out talent them and make a couple big plays. But if I were betting on it, I think I'd take Miami minus 8.5 right now. Excuse me. I think I'd take Indiana minus 8.5.
Really?
Right, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm on the other side. I would take Miami and those points. Here's what you do. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook, it's official sports betting partner of the NFL, or tonight's games. Lines can change. We all know that. But, hey, DraftKings, they've got your back, especially with these NFL games. Early exit protection. If a player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you can still get paid in cash. So, again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code OG25. That's code OG25 to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of the Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager, tax, pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win and receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. It is a limited time offer. All right, we're back from our gambling break. Before we get to some of our comments,
okay.
Also want to get into, we got 2 other things on the list here.
I'm curious what the one-word Hall of Fame is.
Yeah, so we got a couple more things, but before we do that, reminder to wear your seatbelts.
Okay.
Please.
This is
Jackson Giglio, accident Saturday night. He's okay. The driver, other car, okay. But driver of the other car on Old Stage, on 1010 Road, wasn't paying attention, ran through a stop sign, hit Jackson right in that intersection. Car's totaled. Blue Pilot totaled. So I need to go hit up my friends at Easter Automotive Group for sure. EasterAuto.com. You can do the same, but had his seatbelt on. This is now his second pretty serious accident that he's walking away from.
I'm not trying to be silly.
Because of his seatbelt.
I thought you were going to say it's an anniversary of it. Like I knew that it happened, and you're just your reminder. 2 years ago, I thought I was going to lose it. Like I didn't realize it happened again.
Saturday night, got into another major accident. Airbag deployed, seatbelt on, all those good things. So please wear your seatbelt. And yes, now I'm in the unfortunate position of I had a car total, but fortunately, our friends at Heister have us covered. So go to HeisterAuto.com. I bet you Duke wishes they had a friend like Heister Auto because they're losing their quarterback allegedly tomorrow to Miami.
Yeah.
So Darian Mensah pulled a forever grateful on Twitter. He literally used the words forever grateful, which of course, as everyone knows, wait a second. That's the OG's music. Let's see.
I'm sitting here reading Darian Mensah's tweet saying he's transferring, and he drops forever grateful in the first 3 words. Darian Mensah, an OG listener, confirmed. Big love you, mean it energy. Wow, that sucks for Duke. I'm sitting here reading.
Hopefully that call came through.
No,
our audio is a little bit.
Yep, I heard it.
A little bit of a struggle right now. And then here's an actual Duke fan about Mensah, because really kind of is some bullshit, right? Like they thought they signed him to a 2-year deal. He announced LeBron-esque style, very thankful. He's from very humble beginnings and backgrounds, and was very thankful for all the money that he made at Duke next year and would have made this year. So I can understand why Duke fans are kind of like, hey, now wait a second.
Man, shit. Fuck Darian Mensah. These hoes ain't loyal. I'm tired of this bullshit. Man,
does it? All right, well, here's my only thing. One, yes, if you sign a contract with somebody literally and said 2 years, you do kind of expect them to be there 2 years, right?
Well, that though.
Well, and that's
these are endorsement contracts.
I know.
They're not employment contracts.
We're about to get into. We might be paying some lawyers and figuring this out. This kind of happened at Washington,
yes,
where the guy had signed a deal and then he said, "Actually, psych, I'm going somewhere else," and they were like, "Actually, no, you signed a contract." But great, he signed a 2-year deal. Duke fans, I'm like, I don't think anybody gets to be pissed when your players transfer right now, because that's.
Even in this circumstance, on the last day of the portal, where they're really, and he made the big show, publicly of saying I'm coming back.
Nope, this is the system. This is what we have. I mean, you can be pissed at the system, but you can't. You hate the game. Do not hate the player right now.
I think you can be mad at this kid. For
I don't know. You don't get that,
man.
Put your anger towards pushing for whatever change. I don't want it to be Congress who makes it, but like the NCAA, everybody get on the same board.
Have to be.
Let players collectively bargain and come up with, basically treat it like the pro sport it is. You want players to stay for 2 and 3 years, you're gonna have to give up rights and things that the players get, right? But then once we've all agreed to the rules, then you can hold them to the rules of saying, no, if you commit, you have to sign a 2 or 3 year contract and there's no transferring in that time. Or you have to go back to sitting out a year, whatever it is, right?
I think you can hate the player in this particular instance because he made a big show about coming back. He did have originally a 2-year deal that does reward him handsomely. But Miami, of all teams, comes in, swoops in at the end, and is now going to flood him. I believe part of the reporting allegedly is the sister, who's a soccer player elsewhere, will now have a scholarship at Miami. There's an Adidas portion of this where he'll have allegedly an endorsement with Adidas. Hey, man, if he put his name in the portal and said, I'm leaving and made this an open recruitment,
I hear you
I'm
saying it could be handled better.
To do it at the last possible moment.
Well, what if that's when he got the call?
And now of course he did, because Miami had missed out on other quarterbacks, right? But to do this at the last possible moment,
no.
I don't love this.
Hate the game. Hate the game. Do not hate the player. That's I swear I would say this if it were another team.
No, I get that. I get that.
Like until the adults who've had time and buried their heads in the sand to make the system better, until they get together. Yes, I am.
He's making the best financial decision for him.
Yes.
And that's I get that part of it. I think the timing of it does absolutely suck.
Sure.
So let's get to the one-word Hall of Fame. I don't know if I think we've talked about this potentially before, definitely on the podcast. We love it when there's a tweet that has like one word at the bottom. Like, usually it's signed or retired or, Hall of Famer, or like there's usually something that's standard.
Okay.
Right? Waived, cut, you name it, committed, whatever,
right.
MVP, right? Like there's usually like super positive, like, yeah. Big shouts to our friends at Color Graphic, because they have my guy Glenn, as you've used before, does great work. But he also said to me, hey, I would really like to be the sponsor of the One Word Hall of Fame. He's like, there's so many of these. Surely we can find one every week to highlight as the One Word Hall of Fame. And I'm like, that's a great idea. And he sent me this. Like, is your computer on?
Yes.
Okay. He sent me this one. And I was like, technically not one word. Technically, for those who are not watching on the YouTubes, it is a picture of Dave Canales, and it says, strangely enough, with the first O as a star, pornography addiction. That's the tweet. Not committed, not playoff bound, not pornography addiction. That's the
But who's putting that out?
Something called ML Football. Okay, cool. Like, awesome.
It's from his memoir.
Factual.
Like he referenced it.
It's totally factual, but it's like, I have so many questions. Can it be in the One Word Hall of Fame if it's two words?
There's a way they could have worded it to make it hyphenated, maybe like porn addict wouldn't be hyphenated, but we could play around and figure it out.
Well, either way, thanks to our good friends. Color Graphic, for all of your signage needs, go check them out. Color Graphic. Send them an email. sales@colorgraphic.com. And finally, what do you got? What do you people have for us on the comments? Let's see.
We don't care what the people say.
You're frozen. Why are you frozen?
Is that what they're saying? How long have I been frozen?
Probably. Hey, man. Darn. But you can still hear them, right, Ken? Either way, let's go. We got Waffle House. Hoodie looks. Yes, please check them out below. Use that logo, please.
It's tight. The Waffle House hoodie is tight.
Mindy did not have Pamela Anderson tit reference on my bingo card.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I caught what that was.
Well, they were fake. I just kept going. So they were like concentric circles.
You were trying to describe a Venn diagram, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't even have time to think about it. So let's
back in the day.
Actually, one of the notes I had, if I had brought in, was like, Giglio's trying to turn this thing into Barstool. You've been making good Bussy references. I had like a list of like they weren't curses, but just 4 like sophomoric jokes. And so we'll throw Pamela Anderson Venn diagrams in there as well.
So there is hope for NC State. Yeah, this must go back from our. Ooh, I like that. Can we start the Hubert Davis cycle? Yeah, we can.
Cycle of Hubert Davis?
That. Yes, and yes, we hear Hayes, so we've done.
All right, good.
We've done well on that front. All right, sorry, I'm not going to be able to troubleshoot. While we're live here, we were just gonna have to live with Hayes being in the frozen state as long as you can hear. Yeah, I can see it. But now finally, I was at State's basketball game on Saturday. They played Georgia Tech. It was a CW game. My friend Tom Wormy working the game with Seth Davis. Tom had reached out to me before, had said, "Hey, are you going to be at the game on Saturday?" Yep. I'll be there. I'll be up in the hockey press box. I didn't realize he was getting information.
Seth Davis was doing the game?
Yeah.
I didn't know he did ACC games.
I didn't know it either, but that's where he was. So I didn't realize Tom wanted to know where I was because I was going to be on.
I know. I was like, this wasn't just the camera landed on you and he said it. They had a graphic.
I know.
They had you ready to go.
So let's see if I could get this to work for us. It might have had something to do with. Yeah, here it is. And let's see. I could do this button. Share the screen. Big shouts to Mike
for
getting this.
Celebrity shout out.
Who averages 14.6 points per game.
Look at that guy.
That category. That's
now,
our good
if you're not familiar up here,
Media, the OG
it's probably
media podcast. Joe Giglio. I've been friends with Joe a very long time. He asked a question about Williams, and I think Coach Wade answered it.
Yeah, it was obviously a proper question given how he played.
Okay, so big thanks to Tom for taking care of me. If you're not familiar, in the hockey press box, which is where I have to watch basketball games from, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. What are those, Hayes? 8-foot screens, 8 by 10 foot screens.
Yep.
So I pop up on all 4 of the screens, and I'm like, what is happening? And I'm obviously not watching the game, so I still didn't have any idea what was happening until my wife texted me, and a lot of State fans and other people were just watching the show. My guy Brett Parker was like, "My God, what is going on? Why are we like?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." But obviously related to the post-game exchange that we had a couple of weeks ago, and big shouts to Tom for taking care. Tom, the league misses people like Tom who follow and understand it and realize. Tom was always one of those guys when he had a game would call and be like, "Hey man, you follow the team, like give me some ideas," or it's always a little bit of a check-in.
Dick Vitale was famous for this. Of when he got to town, he would read the News and Observer and the Herald Sun and probably a couple other, Wilmington Star News or whatever, and because they want to find out what's going on, and he would often say, "Oh, I read Chip Alexander in the News and Observer today had a quote, and that was always super cool, and like I said, showed that he got it. That he understood college basketball is best covered locally, and if you want to find out what's going on with the team, ask the local guys. So yeah, it's very cool that people still do that.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't know Seth Davis was on the CW.
You had a take on this before? You've forgotten it.
No, I think I was more just I was going to ask how it came about, because it wasn't just the camera falling on you.
Right.
Like they
get a little shout out to Charlie Mickens too later in the broadcast. So
wow,
I enjoyed that as well. So.
He's now maybe the godfather of ACC media.
Absolutely,
he's been there a lot. Cameraman for a station. But no, it was very cool to see, and shout out to you. And you were looking pretty good too.
I was doing okay,
repping the brand. How mad is
obvious
that he wasn't there? But no, it was great. Anytime the pod's getting love. I do like how, I know what I was going to say. I do love how the CW has become kind of, the
pilot.
There's a little bit of tongue in cheek when you're like, hell yeah, the CW, because it's like, it feels like, not ESPN, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially early on when they would broadcast some bumps and bruises, they
prioritize it though.
But it's
for the football in particular. I know basketball, they got a little bit more crews and some other stuff. I think they do a good job. So I appreciate Tom picking me up. But yeah, it's always funny. It's always humbling too when people are like, "Hey, I just saw you on TV," and it's like, well, I do like this other thing that never mind. Just yes. It's awesome that you saw me on TV. I like that.
Check on my podcast.
Yes,
so just text back the link to the next podcast. Actually, the next one after this.
So while you're frozen,
hear me.
I was gonna say while you're frozen and everyone can hear you, what's going on at the Rialto? I thought it was really cool. Was it just the Carter Finley Stadium concert?
That's what was cool.
That's
about
awesome. Jessica wanted to go. She's like, I might be in that movie.
There were a lot. One of the cool things we've stumbled into, concert movies do great. Like, so there's a John Prine concert movie that actually also features Bob Weir. It's a new movie that just come out. But people start to treat it kind of like a concert. If you have enough people in there, people are like clapping at the end of things, or like for Grateful Dead songs. And like, if you know any jam bands, there's certain songs where you do certain things or whatever. But there was also people, most of the video is of the band. But every now and then there'd be like, a feature on a girl dancing, and somebody would be like, "Hey, is she in here?" Because there were a lot of people that said they were there that night. Apparently there was a big lightning storm. Everybody remembered that. The power went out. Truly at one point you see Jerry Garcia being like, "What's going on?" Apparently it was hot as hell. The fire department was there just like hosing people down to keep it cold, because they probably knew that people get in a certain way for Grateful Dead shows.
Sure.
And heat can be a problem when you're doing those. So it's much like we've been able to move nimbly and try new things. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is turning what had become just a movie house and opening it up to everything from sports podcasts live to music concerts, traditional concerts, movies, all kinds of stuff. We have I got to be careful here. I won't say anything else except for a friend of this podcast, a good friend of this podcast, maybe a hockey analyst that we expect to be coming through the Rialto sometime soon.
Cool.
So we'll see. I'll let you know more when I can.
Know what that means, but that's fine. Go to therialto.com and check out Hayes and his wonderful schedule. You ready to go eat the medium meal?
Let's do it.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Is
for
it
checking
Buffalo
us.
Wings?
I don't think so.
Appreciate
you guys for taking care of us today. Ovius will be back from his hockey excursion tomorrow. We will be live on Thursday as well. Lots going on this week on the OG. Appreciate you guys.
Sorry, I know we're leaving. I love the running bit of you hammering Ovius for youth sport. Like the problem with youth sports.
Oh yeah,
and like using him as the personal example of why it's bad.
Yeah, Ovius is randomly in Utah. Like you couldn't find a game in Virginia or South Carolina.
Again,
sure.
My good friend Ben Swain is also a youth hockey guy. There's plenty of pros, and I love your back and forth about it. But I just love you bludgeoning him with all of your vitriol and anger towards how youth sports is pay to play now, and just unloading on him for it. Just keep up the good work there.
Enjoy the ACC championship game tonight with our friends, the state assistant and the Miami Hurricanes. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.